everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's a good day. I hope you're feeling it. So I was honestly really tossing up about whether I was going to make this video for a couple of different reasons. Some of them just like emotional, some of them just personal, some of them like legal. I was tossing up whether I was going to make this video, whether I should make it now, whether I should wait a year, whether I should just not make it at all. But I decided, you know what, this video is so inspiring that it inspires even me, and I don't get inspired from revert stories. So I thought it's definitely worth sharing with you guys. This, as you can tell from the title, is the story about how my grandpa took Shahada on his deathbed and accepted Islam and died as a Muslim. So if you're interested in watching that, then please keep watching. So first things first, I just want to say, if my tone is too chirpy or too happy for this video, then I apologize. But honestly, I am just really happy. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Samantha and I am a revert. I started practicing Islam 4 years ago now, and I have 6 siblings, and out of the 7 of us, 5 of us have become Muslim and reverted. We've all reverted one after each other. I have my mum who's not yet Muslim, and I have my grandpa who has just passed away. And I'm basically going to tell you his story. So if you're looking to get inspired, then you've clicked on the right video. My grandpa was 84 years old and he had been sick for a really long time. He had a couple of different things wrong with him. One of the main things was his kidneys. His kidneys were really bad and they basically decreased in their functionability. And they were down to 15%, and then from 15% they kind of just collapsed down to 5% like that, and he was hospitalized. SubhanAllah. So I've had a feeling for the past couple of months that he was really sick, and I just had in my heart that he wasn't going to make it to the new year. And I don't know why I felt like this, I just did. I just felt like he wasn't going to make it to the new year. And so I kept telling my mum, I feel like he's going to die soon. I think we need to like prepare for it, you know. So I just had this feeling in my heart and I decided to make dua about it. I always tell you guys that my dua always get answered. Like always. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always answers my dua. I don't think you understand how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always answers my dua, and you're going to see right now in this video how much he answers my prayers. So I made dua because I was at university and knew that I would have a lot of responsibilities after he passed away in terms of like legal stuff and just a whole lot of different stuff, because I knew that I needed him to not pass away before I finished my final assignments for university. I just said, Ya Allah, please just keep him alive until after I hand in my final assignment. And this is me talking to Allah. I said, look, I don't even care about my exams. I can do my exams while he's passed away. Just make sure I hand in my final assignment before he passes away, because I won't be able to do it. Ya Allah, you know I won't be able to do it. So I'm making dua for this constantly, making dua for this. So I want to be realistic with my dua, and I didn't want to say, Ya Allah, make my grandpa immortal, because I knew that he was never going to be immortal. I made dua and I said, Ya Allah, let him be healthy enough to continue living normally until I at least hand in my last assignment. And then, Ya Allah, do what you want. I handed in my last assignment, and subhanAllah, I wrote 6,000 words in 3 days and handed in 2 assignments. So I did 2 3,000 word essays, and subhanAllah, I handed it in on Tuesday night, and I was so drained, but I was celebrating life, and I was like, yes, I have endless possibilities. I finished my semester, I have exams, but that's alright. I can do those and that's going to be fine, but I've handed in my last assignment, and so I was so happy for that whole night. I'm planning what I'm going to do the next day. I'm so excited. And then the next morning we got news that my grandpa was in hospital and he wasn't going to get back out. They basically told us that he was going to pass away, and so they took my grandpa to a specific room where he can basically pass away peacefully as you can pass away, and where they don't treat you anymore, they don't put you on a drip, they don't do anything to prolong your life. It's literally just they make you as comfortable as possible while you're dying. So that's basically what room he got taken to. So instantly my whole family and I are kind of like panic mode, because we have so much to organize. We now have to organize a funeral. My grandpa's not even passed away yet, but I know how my family is with death, because if you guys don't know, my brother was murdered, and I have a story about that on my channel as well if you want to watch it. So we're very familiar with death and we know how it works, and so we know how it feels after someone's passed away, and we like to get as much done before. So my mother and I, we went and we did as much as we could do prior to his death, in terms of funeral organization and stuff like that. And then later that afternoon, so it was now Wednesday afternoon, we went to visit him in hospital. And then I swear you guys, I walked into the hospital room and I just couldn't leave. I walked into the hospital room and the doctors originally, they told us 3 days max. 3 days is the max that he can live. And he wasn't on any fluids. He was getting no nutrients to his body, nothing whatsoever. And so they told us 3 days. They said 3 days is the max that he's going to live. And so when I got there, I sat with my grandpa, and he was kind of unresponsive, and he was in and out of consciousness, and I just couldn't leave the room. Like, I just couldn't bear the thought of leaving him and having him die by himself. And so I stayed with him, and I slept with him overnight, and I slept in the chair next to his bed, and I just couldn't leave. And so I slept there overnight, and I wasn't prepared for it at all, and I didn't know what it would be like, because yes, I'm familiar with death, but I'm not familiar with this kind of death. I didn't know what it would be like to lose someone like this, in this way, where you're kind of just waiting for them to die, if that makes sense. So I stayed with him. My family went home. I stayed with him overnight, and my family came back, and I still stayed with him, and my family left again, and I still stayed with him. And this whole time I was kind of filled with like a whole lot of different feelings, because I know Islam is the truth. I know that this is the right religion, and I know the fate of those that aren't Muslim, okay? And that's just the bottom line. And so I was torn between, like, I don't want to make my grandpa feel uncomfortable, and I know that he can't talk. So I don't want him to like hate that I'm here, and hate that I'm talking to him, and hate that I'm trying to tell him about Islam. But also I need to tell him about Islam for me to be able to sleep with a clear conscience for the rest of my life, because I couldn't imagine like not telling him about Islam and then having him die non-Muslim, and then me having to live with that guilt. You know what I mean? So I was trying to do the most. And I have spoken to my grandpa about Islam and religion in general so many times in the past, so it's not like this is something new to him, and he had always taken it really well. So I basically just started talking to him about Islam, and in my head I'm like, okay, we have 3 days. We have 3 days to make my grandpa a Muslim. And so I'm making dua, and I'm like, Ya Allah, just take his soul once he becomes a Muslim. Ya Allah, I'm not asking for you to not take his soul. I'm not asking for that, because I know it's unrealistic, and I know it's ridiculous. And I know that every soul shall taste death. But Ya Allah, I'm asking that you make him a Muslim first. And so I'm making dua for that over this couple of days. And I'm playing Quran for him on my phone, and I'm reciting Quran for him, and I'm teaching him about Islam. I'm describing what Jannah will be like for him. I'm telling him the stories of the prophets. Basically all that's on my YouTube channel, I'm telling this to my grandpa, and his like conscious and then not conscious for half of it. Like, it's basically just like laying there and I'm just talking to him, and it kind of felt like I was talking to myself, but it also kind of felt like I was talking to a camera, which I'm so used to, so it was fine. So I'm talking to my grandpa, and I'm playing Quran for him, and I'm playing Surah Yasin for him, because I've heard that that makes death easier for a person, and obviously that's a Muslim, and my grandpa's not a Muslim at this point, but I'm like, okay, worth a try anyway. So I'm playing Quran for him, then I'm reading to him, and I'm just doing the most, okay? So fast forward a couple of days, it's now Friday, and I haven't left the hospital room, and I've hardly been eating, and I've hardly been sleeping, because my grandpa's breathing was just so abnormal, and 1 minute it's really loud and the next minute it's really soft, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I kept panicking every 5 seconds that my grandpa was gonna pass away and I wasn't gonna notice, and so I was hardly sleeping. It was like a strenuous time, whatever. And Friday night comes, and my mum decides she's gonna sleep with me too. And so this is about to be day 3 now that my grandpa's been alive, and they told us 3 days max. So day 3 comes, and day 3 goes, and my grandpa's still alive, and we're confused. My grandpa's still completely unresponsive, in and out of consciousness, but he's alive. He's breathing. And so we asked the doctors again, and they said, look, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We thought it would be 3 days, but now we don't know. Now we're saying maybe it could be anything up to 10 days. So basically we realized that the doctors don't know what's going on, and they've got no clue when he's going to live and when he's going to die, which I don't know why that surprised me, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that knows this. But anyways, it surprised me nonetheless. And I was like, okay, so we're basically just sitting here and we don't know how long he's going to live for. Now my mum's staying here overnight, and now I feel a little bit shy to teach my grandpa about Islam, because now my mum's here and she can tell me to shush and be quiet and stop annoying him if she wants to. But nonetheless, I still did it. And I was like, wow, my mum's not a Muslim, my grandpa's not a Muslim. I feel really intimidated right now, but I'm still going to do it. I'm going to do the most, because I'm not going to be able to sleep knowing that I didn't do the most. So I'm still playing Quran for him. I'm still telling him about Jannah. My mum's listening this whole time, which may Allah allow this to be the reason that she is guided. And days pass and days pass and day pass. And guys, now it's up to the 6th day. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm so bored. I haven't left the hospital room. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I need a real meal. I am honestly so emotionally drained. I don't know what else to do. I'm bored. I'm so bored. I can't smell anything except for the hospital room. I forgot what air smells like. Like, all I'm smelling is hospital air. Day 6 rolls around and it's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and the night previously had been really bad and my grandpa was in a lot of pain, and I could tell that he was in a lot of pain because he was making moaning sounds. And so it's the morning time and my mum tries to cover my grandpa with blankets, and my grandpa starts moving and my mum's trying to cover up to here, up to his neck with a blanket, and my grandpa literally pulls the blanket off him. And I'm shocked because my grandpa hadn't been moving for the past 6 days. And I hadn't left his side, so I knew that he hadn't been moving for the past 6 days. SubhanAllah, he lifts the blanket off him and he tells my mum no. And my mum tells him, yes, it's cold. And she puts it back up. And he says, no, it's not. And he shoves it back down. My mum's like, alright, damn, okay. So I'm just shocked. I'm like, whoa, grandpa, you're talking to me. So I get right up in my grandpa's face and I'm chatting to him and I'm telling him, hey grandpa, can you see me? Like, hi grandpa. I'm talking to him, like, I'm so bored, and now my grandpa's finally like awake and talking, like, what is going on? These doctors are crazy. My grandpa's probably not even gonna die. SubhanAllah, man. So basically for that whole day, my grandpa was talking to us and he was telling us so many different things, and he asked where we were. We told him that he was in the hospital. He relaxed a little bit. During the 6 days prior, his hand got really swollen, his wrist, and he was wearing a watch and I took his watch off and I put it on my own wrist. And so he was up and he was talking to me and he was awake and he was focusing on my face, and so I was telling him like, hey grandpa, you like my watch? And he was like, yeah, it's nice. So I'm like, far out, this is my chance. Like, SubhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me this gift for a reason. He's given me my grandpa's consciousness for a reason. He's given that to me and my grandpa, and I need to do something about it. So I spoke to him and I said, hey grandpa, do you know that I have been here this whole time? And he said, yeah. And I said, you know that I haven't left your side, yeah? And he said, yeah. I said, and did you hear me reading to you? And he said, what? And I said, did you hear me when I was reading to you? And he said, no. And I said, oh, that's okay. I said, did you hear me when I was playing Quran for you? And he said, yeah, I heard that. And I said, and did you like it? And he said, yeah, I loved it. SubhanAllah, SubhanAllah, my grandpa was not a Muslim at this point, and I'm asking him if he heard me playing Quran, and he's saying yes, he loved it. And I had a feeling that he did, because when I was playing it, he went from, he sounded like he was in pain, to then when I was playing it being a lot more relaxed and his breathing became a lot more regular. So I regulated his breathing a lot, and so I had a feeling he liked it. SubhanAllah, so my grandpa was now conscious enough to be able to tell me that he didn't hear me reading, but he heard me playing Quran for him and he heard me talking to him. I asked him if he heard me telling the stories of the prophets and a couple of other things, and he said yes, and he told me that I'm so pretty and that I'm so smart, and he just told me the nicest things, and he said I'm so cute, and I was like, thanks grandpa, I really love you. And I was so happy because my grandpa was up and he was talking to me, and I never thought that I would get that chance again. SubhanAllah, a mercy from Allah. Anyways, so I'm just going to continue. So as the day goes on, I'm sitting with my grandpa, and every 5 seconds I'm getting up and saying, hey grandpa, are you still talking? Can you still hear me? What's going on? Like, what are you doing? As if he's not just laying there in the bed. Like, I'm asking him what he's doing. But I was just bored. My grandpa was finally able to talk to me, and so I was so excited. We called my sisters on FaceTime and he was talking to them, and I still remember my little sister, SubhanAllah, she said to him on FaceTime, she's like, hi grandpa. We didn't tell her that he was talking, and so when she said, hey grandpa, and he said, hey Vashti, she started crying. She was so emotional, she was so beautiful, and she was just so happy. Like, what a beautiful last memory that she had with him. I called my other sisters as well so that they were able to say goodbye to him, and then I kind of just sat by his bed and I just held his hand, and I asked him if he remembered me explaining what Shahada was to him and explaining the basics of Islam were to him, and he told me that he remembered it. And I said, hey grandpa, would you like to take Shahada with me? And he said yes. So something that I had forgot to mention previously was that my grandpa, the whole time that he was talking to us and we could understand what he was saying, but he wasn't able to move the bottom of his mouth. He wasn't able to move his jaw. So when he would say, for example, mum, he would say, because he wasn't able to make the sound because he wasn't able to move his mouth. So any word that would require you closing your lips, he wasn't able to say it. Something that I forgot to tell you, but I think it's important for this. So I said to my grandpa, hey grandpa, do you remember when we talked about Shahada and what it meant and the basics of Islam, and yeah, like, do you believe that there's only one God? And he said yes. And I said, do you believe that the messenger is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And he said yes. And I said, do you want to take Shahada with me? And he said yes. And so I said, okay, you have to repeat after me. And so he said okay. And this whole time my mum's busy on the other side of the room and she's cleaning up, I think. She wasn't paying attention, that's all I know. She wasn't paying attention to us. And so I sat with him quietly and I said the Shahada with him, and I said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, and he said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, and I said Muhammadan Rasulullah, and he said Muhammadan Rasulullah. And you guys, I can't express how amazing this was, because he actually closed his mouth when he said Muhammad. Like, that was what the most beautiful part for me was, because that is what gave me the confirmation in my heart. I had been making dua so much. Ya Allah, make him a Muslim. Make him a Muslim before he dies. I'm not asking that you don't take his soul. Take his soul, but make him a Muslim. And Ya Allah, I'm also asking for something else. I ask that you give me patience, and I ask that you give me strength. I ask that you give me that comfort in my heart, that surety in my heart, that certainty in my heart to know that he actually took Shahada with me, that it's not from my own brain, that I'm not imagining it. And I knew that people would try to call me crazy. My mum, I knew that she would say, Samantha, you want this so bad that you imagined it. And I knew that I didn't. And so I asked for Allah to give me that certainty in my heart, that surety that he was a Muslim in my heart. And we took Shahada, and he said Muhammad. Muhammad. He actually closed his lips when he said Muhammad. And my mind was blown, and so that was when I stepped away and I actually cried. For the first moment, I hadn't cried since we got to the hospital, and I haven't cried since. I didn't cry when he passed away, but this was the moment that I actually cried. And I stood by the window and I just made dua, and I thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me this gift, and I thanked him for giving me this certainty in my heart, and I thanked him for all of it. And I thanked him for the fact that he answered my dua, not once but twice. He answered my dua first when I said, Ya Allah, don't take him until I have finished my final assignment. And he waited until the next day, and when we got the news that he was going to die. And then not only that, but I asked for him to become a Muslim, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned his heart to Islam. You guys, wallahi, if you are worried that somebody that you love will not become a Muslim, have strength and have certainty in the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and know that no matter what, if there is good in this person, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees good in this person, then Allah will certainly turn his heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, of course, turn that person's heart if there is something good in that person that Allah sees is good in that person and is worth turning their hearts for. So subhanallah, 84 years and my grandpa became a Muslim. 84 years of sin, and my grandpa had all of his sins forgiven because he took Shahada with me. So my grandpa took Shahada, and I stepped aside and I cried. And I cried for 2 minutes, and then I was just like, yep, back to normal. Gus Fraba, relax Sam. You've taken Shahada with so many people. You have dealt with death so many times. You know what it's like to lose someone, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim. Sam, you're fine. This is fine. You can do it. And so I calmed myself and I relaxed, and my grandpa was a Muslim now. So now's the time where I'm honestly just waiting for him to die, because what other reason do you have to live? Now I'm just waiting. I'm like, Ya Allah, take his soul. So this was on the 6th day of him being hospitalized, when they said that he would only make it past 3, and the doctors were so shocked and confused about why he was up and talking to us all of a sudden. SubhanAllah. The next day comes around, and I just had a feeling in my heart that today was going to be the day. It was a week now to the day that he had received the news that he would not be coming home. And I just feel like 7 days. 7 days, and yesterday he was talking, and now today he's back to being unresponsive and he's not talking again. And I just had this feeling in my heart like today's the day. And so I stayed with him for the day. I was just waiting, and I just had this feeling in my heart, and again, like I was saying, my grandpa couldn't talk anymore. He's back to being unresponsive. He was just sleeping. And then it got to Maghrib prayer, and I just had this feeling, and I told my mum, and I said, Mum, I think that we should pack up our stuff, because I think that he's going to die tonight, and I think that he's going to die very soon. And Mum, I'm going to make dua for him to die now. I'm going to pray for Allah to take his soul now. So Mum, I think we should pack up our stuff. And she's like, are you sure? Do you really think that we should do that now? And I said, yeah, I do. I do think that we should do it now. So she packed up our stuff. We packed up our stuff together, the stuff that we had at the hospital with us. So we didn't want to stick around after he died. And also, I know how people get when someone dies. Like, you're immobile, you can't really do anything. If anything goes wrong, you're going to have a mental breakdown. So Maghrib calls, and I pray Maghrib prayer. And then I just go and sit by my grandpa again, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and waiting. And I just turned to my mum again, and I said, Mum, I think that you should get dressed in the clothes that you're going to leave the hospital in. I'm going to go and I'm going to get dressed in the clothes that I'm going to leave the hospital in, because Mum, I think he's going to take his soul tonight. I think that he's going to die tonight, because I'm about to make dua. And Mum, you know that Allah always answers my prayers. So I think that you should get ready to, like, go home. We're going to go home tonight. And subhanAllah, my mum's not a Muslim, but she knows that God always answers my prayers. And so she listened to me, and she put clothes on that she was going to leave the hospital room in. And then time rolls around, and it's now Isha prayer, and so it's 9:20, and I get up and I go and pray Isha, the final prayer of the day. And I pray it, and I have so much concentration in this prayer and so much sincerity in this prayer, and I'm praying. And then I get up and I finish my prayer, and I go and I sit next to my grandpa in the chair that I had always sat in. And my mum was across the room, and she says to me, Samantha, I'm going to try to take a nap. I said, okay, Mum. So she goes and she lays down and she takes like a little nap on the chair. And I'm sitting next to my grandpa, and I start making dua. And I said, Ya Allah, I'm so tired. Ya Allah, I'm so drained. Ya Allah, he's a Muslim now. There's no more reasons for him to be alive. Ya Allah, you've given me this certainty in my heart. What other reason is there for his life? I said, Ya Allah, he's accepted Islam. His sins have been forgiven. I have no more request than that you take his life right now. And so I just said, Ya Allah, I'm so tired. I want to go home. I miss my bed. I miss my family. I miss my life. Ya Allah, there's no more reason for us to be here anymore. You've given me everything. You have made him a Muslim. So just take his soul now. And subhanAllah, I'm making dua, and I'm just saying, Ya Allah, take his soul. 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 And I'm just repeating it. Ya Allah, take his soul now. Ya Allah, take his soul now. And I'm just repeating it over and over and over again for 10 minutes straight. And I'm repeating it, and then it gets to 9:30, and my grandpa, his breathing goes from regular to he just breathes in and he breathes out, and it's like, and then he doesn't breathe again. And I'm confused, and I'm like, whoa, that was shocking. Was that his last breath? And I knew that Allah was about to take his soul, because I had just been making dua, and I said, Ya Allah, take his soul now. So I knew that Allah was going to take his soul, but I didn't know it was going to be right that second. And so he doesn't breathe, and I'm waiting for another breath, and it's not coming. And so I call out to my mum on the other side of the room, and she'd been sleeping for 10 minutes at this point. I called out to her and I said, Mum, wake up, Grandpa's passed away. Mum, I think Grandpa just took his last breath. Mum, wake up. And she's not waking up, and I'm still holding my grandpa's hand. I don't want to leave him. And then all of a sudden, after 5 minutes, he breathes again. So now it's 9:35, and he's gone 5 minutes without taking a breath, and then he just takes another breath. And I'm not even gonna lie, I got so scared. I was like, wow, this is some zombie type stuff. And I was please don't think that I'm heartless for saying that. I'm sorry, I make jokes to mask the pain. Anyways, I'm like, whoa. I got scared. I got really startled, because I wasn't expecting another breath, and then it kind of just came. And he did the exact same thing as before. He breathes in really deep, and then he let out a couple of breaths all at once. It went and then he didn't breathe again for another couple of minutes, and I'm waiting, and again it's not coming, and I'm like, whoa, now that was surely the last breath. Should I like wake my mum up now? So I'm calling to my mum, and she's not answering me, and I'm kind of just sitting there, and I'm like, whoa, my grandpa's like passed away right in front of me, and I don't exactly know what to do. And so I get up, because my mum's not answering me, and I go to touch her on the arm, and she starts swinging at me like to punch me because she got scared, because I don't know, my mom's just a fighter lady. So she tries to punch me, and then she realizes who I am and she calms down. She's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, Mum, Grandpa's passed away. And she's like, no, that like he couldn't have passed away. I was just listening to his breathing. Like, I just fell asleep, and I said, Mum, you've been asleep for 10 minutes. Like, he's passed away. I was trying to call you this whole time and you weren't listening to me. That's why I came and touched you. And she's like, whoa, did you really? So my mum gets up and she kind of just doesn't know what to do. My mum's not as good with death as I think that I am. So my mum kind of just stands up and she's like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So she walks towards the bathroom. My grandpa breathes again after 3 minutes. And he breathes in and then he breathes out. And his eyes are fixated. SubhanAllah, they're fixated. I guess he's looking at the angel of death. So this whole time, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about all the stuff that I know, all the Islamic knowledge that I have about what it's like for a soul to be taken from its body, whether they're Muslim or not Muslim, what it's like and what they're seeing and what their eyes become fixated on and how the soul actually exits the body. And all of this stuff that I know, this is what I'm thinking about this whole time. And it was such a spiritual, crazy experience to like witness and to be there for and to have lived through. And like, I'm 20 years old and this is the life that I've been handed, alhamdulillah. Like I said, he breathed again after another 3 minutes. He breathed in and he breathed out, and that was his last breath. And then instantly his whole body turned yellow. He looked like a Simpson character. I feel like I am a bad person for making these jokes, but I'm just trying to honestly just describe what it was like. And this is the things that I'm thinking about. Wow, Grandpa looks like a Simpsons character. That's what I was thinking in this moment. So yeah, so that's what happened. My grandpa passed away, and it didn't look painful. I had asked him if he was scared of dying the day before, and he said that he wasn't scared. It didn't look scary from my perspective. But yes, my grandpa passed away, and I asked for Allah to give me strength, and he gave me strength, and I was fine. And I dressed my mum because she had taken her jacket off. So I put her jacket on her and we left the hospital and we got home. And subhanAllah, it's like I already had this reassurance in my heart and this certainty in my heart that my grandpa had accepted Islam and that he did take Shahada with me, because I knew that he did. But as if I needed a little bit more confirmation, or as if maybe my mum needed a little bit more confirmation, because I think that she didn't believe me at first and she thought that I was crazy. She thought that I just wanted it so bad that I just imagined that. A week later, my mum was going through some of my grandpa's things. I visited her house and she gave me this book, and I was like, wow, where'd you get this book? This is a really cool book. It was a book about Islam, and it was a basic understanding of Islam, and then it was also a marriage and divorce book on Islam. And she said, I just found it in Grandpa's stuff. And I was like, whoa, my grandpa was reading about Islam. As if I needed any more confirmation. And I told my mum, I'm telling you, I know you think I'm crazy because I wanted him to be a Muslim so bad, but Mum, he took Shahada with me and he became a Muslim. He died as a Muslim, Mum. This is why I'm so fine. This is why I'm not a wreck. Because I know he was a Muslim, Mum. I know that he took Shahada with me, and I know that you think I'm crazy, but he did take Shahada with me. Allah always answers my dua, Mum, and I asked Allah for this. And she said, I don't think you're crazy, Samantha. Her eyes got a little bit teary and she turned away. SubhanAllah, my grandpa took Shahada. What more can I ask for? I just ask that you guys, if you're still watching this video, that you make dua for my mum, for her heart to change, because there's nothing I want more than that. Ask Allah to turn my mum's heart and ask for her to become a Muslim. So yeah, this is my story. This is the story of my grandpa's reversion to Islam, where he was 84 years old and he took Shahada on his deathbed. If you enjoyed, make sure you let me know that you enjoyed. If you have any questions, any comments, anything to say at all, feel free to comment below. Make sure you like this video if you did like it. It was a lot to share, so I hope that you guys really do appreciate it. Make sure you follow my social media at Samantha J. Boyle. Make sure you subscribe because I'm desperate. It's a good day, and if you weren't feeling a good day at the beginning of this video, then I hope you're feeling it now. That's pretty much all I have to say, and honestly, that's it. I'm gonna go now. Like, bye.